All right, this should be full screen coming up. Hi, everyone. Thank you, EJ and Tanya, for organizing this event. My name is Bo Shi. I am a professor in the School of Nursing with a joint appointment in the School of Information. So my talk today, really, there are two parts. The first part is I'll talk about my research in the area of aging, health, and information. And the second part, how sensors technology might help. That's really for our group discussion, really. So my work actually is very different from what the previous speakers have already talked about, because I am not an engineer. So my work has been focusing on the intersection among the areas of older adults, health, and information technology. And key to my research is the concept of e-health literacy, which refers to the ability to access, assess, and use electronic health information to make the healthcare related decisions. So we'll be focusing on lifelong learning in order to improve older adults' e-health literacy, but we also focus on designing technology that is age appropriate. So we call this the Electronic Health Information for Lifelong Learners, the eHeal program. But also a very relevant aspect is we want to understand the kinds of information, health information that patients and their caregivers want to have. Health information wants, HIW, which often may be different from what healthcare providers think their patients need to have. So we have been working with public libraries, senior centers to provide computer instructions. And then we added a component in terms of maybe providing computer instructions will help older adults improve their e-health literacy and also maintain their cognitive functions. More recently, we have this on top project where we project a layer of instructions on top of the real websites to hopefully reduce the attention split when people have to look at different interfaces. That would be challenging. So, this is where, like, typically we have the instruction interface, and then we have the computer interface where people have to split their attention. So our solution in this on top project is to put the instructions as a layer of overlay on top of a real website. And we just actually finished the data collection, the data analysis for this project, and found really promising results for our on top tutorial. But let me also just focus on how I think technology could really help improve the lives of the study population I've been working with, older adults and also their family caregivers. My approach has been really to provide tailored, just-in-time information that people can access, assess, and actually use in their decision-making. So technology really has become a key gateway to information and opportunities. But when we talk about technology providing opportunities, we are talking about also technologies present challenges, especially for people who are underserved, people who may lack access to technology or the necessary training or tech support in order to use the technology. So I have been developing collaborations with computer scientists, focusing on how we could use artificial intelligence and machine learning to provide just-in-time information for family caregivers of persons with Alzheimer's disease and its related dementias. In one project, what we have been trying to develop is to use intelligent voice assistants like Amazon Alexa to provide voice instructions for family caregivers of dementia patients. Like maybe when someone is in the middle of preparing a meal, where because we know caregivers are always very busy, and caregiving for someone with dementia is very stressful. So maybe in the middle of preparing a meal, maybe this person could be like, well, so Alexa, tell me, should I give cheese to my mother? And then maybe the intelligent voice assistant could provide tailored information as to, well, maybe you should, or maybe you shouldn't, and here's why. This is one project we are trying to develop. And then we are, in a different project, we are working on using machine learning algorithms to try to analyze social media posts in order to understand what types of information dementia family caregivers want to have. We have been focusing on so far Reddit, which is a social media platform, but we are also in the process of trying to understand the Twitter tweets, see if we might be able to identify useful information that will help us understand caregivers' preferences on a large scale. It's very interesting because there's growing emphasis on dementia or Alzheimer's related disease, Alzheimer's disease and its related dementias. The National Institute on Aging, NIA, which is part of the NIH, has been really putting great emphasis on ADRD related work. So we have actually conducted a literature review to understand what has really been done in terms of artificial intelligence and machine learning in the specific topical area of dementia family caregiving. And what we have found was that a large portion of the research to date has focused on sensors related to technology, as in, for example, when a patient with dementia wanders around, then maybe if you could use some sensors that could detect their locations or detect abnormal activities that could send an alert to the caregivers or to the healthcare providers, so that hopefully some action can be taken early on to prevent some negative consequences. A lot of the research has been focusing on the sensors related area, but I think sensors or not, or machine learning or not, really the key focus is how we can actually how we can provide just-in-time tailored information to caregivers and also perhaps to the healthcare providers, so that the people could actually make decisions and act based on the information provided to them. And this is a particular area I would be very interested in collaborating with folks doing sensors related research, if and how the technology could be used to help dementia patients and their family caregivers. So I talked about the three areas that I have been focusing on: older adults, health, and information technology. In my collaboration so far, I have involved really, I consider myself a social behavioral researcher, and we've been collaborating with clinicians and also computer scientists in our collaboration so far. But I think interdisciplinary collaboration is really a key when we talk about how technology can be developed to really make a real difference. But I have also learned that interdisciplinary collaboration really requires great patience, and we need to be prepared for the initial cultural shock. I'll give you one. So I put this in small font. It's supposed to be a joke. It's like when we often buy products, we see in big bold letters, oh, this product is amazing, and then in small font, but don't take this pill more than one a day. But interdisciplinary collaboration is amazing indeed. But I have to say there were times where I was shocked, and I'm sure it's the same for my collaborators, because I'll give you one example. We conducted a systematic literature review of artificial intelligence related research on dementia caregiving. And we were using a standard set of guidelines typically used in the health sciences, PRISMA guidelines, preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analysis, in order to extract the information from existing studies. And I was really shocked to find that many of the studies we found, they did not actually even report the sample size or even any demographics of their participants. So it's like, how does that work? And then my collaborators, they were like, yeah, but that's how we do it here, because we are just testing out with the technology. So we don't have to talk about how many participants we had, or the gender, or the demographics, or other demographics of our research participants. So that was a very fun learning experience for me. But I think after maybe the first 6 or 12 months of trying to understand what each other is saying, we can arrive at a point where we really realize, oh, wow, this is really actually fascinating, that the technology you are doing could really help solve some real life problems that we are facing as researchers, as clinicians. it's great that when we see there are problems that we may not have been able to solve, but with recent developments in technology, it is possible. Although the process of trying to understand how we could make this work, that takes a long time. And I think it's a very long process from the time when you develop your technology, your sensors in a research lab, where you may be testing on animals or on graduate students working in the research lab, to actually have the technology be applied in real life by people who may or may not have the technology literacy that you expect them to have. Oftentimes people may not understand how to make it work. So we need to really be sure that the technology can actually be used to the full capacity by people who may have diverse characteristics, including technology literacy and different preferences and different needs. But still, interdisciplinary collaboration is really the key. Okay, that was a quick run through, and I would love to really explore collaborations, because I've got a problem. So we have a lot of problems that we need help. And if you have the technology, I would love to talk more with you. And what we could offer is that we could really, I mean, the technology you have developed in your research labs, you want to have it to be used in the real world to make a real impact, and we can help to test out and hopefully provide useful feedback that could be used to further refine the technology you have developed. All right, thank you.